Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Anna, hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Joan Vassos, the widely admired lead from The Golden Bachelor, has given fans another reason to talk as her travels abroad took an unexpected, heartfelt turn. While exploring Turkey, Joan reportedly left a handwritten note on a public wall, a small act that has already sparked curiosity, speculation, and waves of discussion across Bachelor Nation. Eyewitness accounts began surfacing on social media earlier this week, showing a photograph of a wall in a bustling Turkish marketplace with a neatly penned message in English, signed simply Joan. The handwriting, believed to match Joan's, carried a short but emotionally charged sentiment: "Love finds us when we stop looking." This cryptic yet romantic phrase immediately set off conversations among fans and bloggers, who are piecing together the timeline of Joan's trip and her possible motivations for leaving such a note. Many are interpreting the act as a symbolic reflection of her personal journey since appearing on The Golden Bachelor, a season that was filled with tender moments, candid self-reflection, and, for Joan, a unique approach to finding love later in life. Reports indicate that Joan has been in Turkey for the past several days, sharing glimpses of her travels on social media. Posts from her own account have included scenic views of Istanbul, colorful spice bazaars, and quiet moments along the Bosphorus. However, none of her public posts have directly mentioned the note, a silence that is only adding to the intrigue. Fans who were present in the area say the wall where the note appeared is part of a well-known local tradition. In several Turkish cities, visitors are encouraged to leave small written messages, often expressing wishes, dreams, or declarations of love. It is unclear if Joan was aware of the tradition beforehand or if she stumbled upon it spontaneously during her walk. Regardless of the context, the message resonates deeply with the narrative Joan has built since her television debut. Viewers of The Golden Bachelor remember her as someone who approached romance with grace, patience, and an emphasis on emotional connection over superficial matches. Her time on the show was marked by genuine conversations and a calm, grounded demeanor that stood out among the group. Some Bachelor Nation analysts are suggesting that this note could be more than a random travel memento. It might signal a personal milestone in her love life. Joan has been discreet about her post-show relationships, neither confirming nor denying ongoing romantic involvement. The choice of words in her note, specifically, the idea that love arrives when least expected, has fueled speculation that she may have recently entered or is open to a new relationship. Others, however, view the note as part of Joan's broader philosophy of self-discovery. In past interviews, she has emphasized the importance of living fully and authentically, regardless of one's relationship status. In this light, the note could be a reminder to herself and others to release control over life's timeline and trust the process. The buzz grew louder when travel bloggers and influencers in Turkey began reposting the image of Joan's note, tagging her official account and calling it a moment of poetic kindness. Within hours, Bachelor fan pages on Instagram and Facebook had picked up the story, sparking hundreds of comments. Some followers shared personal stories about how the message resonated with their own experiences, while others playfully debated whether Joan was leaving clues about a hidden romance. One of Joan's former castmates from The Golden Bachelor even chimed in, posting a supportive comment beneath one of the circulating images. "Classic Joan, always leaving beauty wherever she goes." While not a direct confirmation, it added a layer of personal endorsement that strengthened the connection between Joan and the message. Local Turkish media has also taken interest, noting that international visitors leaving heartfelt messages has become an unplanned but welcome form of cultural exchange. Shopkeepers near the wall have reportedly left the note untouched, with one saying, "It belongs to the people now. It is part of the street soul." For longtime fans, this gesture fits perfectly into Joan's reputation for quiet yet impactful actions. Unlike more dramatic or staged reality TV moments, her public persona is defined by subtlety. The note, handwritten in a plain but elegant script, appears to be another extension of that approach, a personal truth shared without fanfare, left to be discovered organically. Whether the message was intended for a specific person or for the public at large remains unknown. Some close followers have been re-examining Joan's recent interviews for hints, particularly moments where she discussed her travels and reflections since the show. In one conversation earlier this year, Joan mentioned wanting to leave little marks in the places she visits, a statement that now seems almost prophetic. The location itself adds depth to the story. Turkey, with its blend of European and Asian influences, centuries of history, and rich tradition of hospitality, offers a fitting backdrop for a message about unexpected love. The wall where the note appeared is said to be part of a narrow street adorned with other colorful writings, locks, and ribbons, a living collage of human hopes and confessions. Tourists visiting the spot since the note's appearance have reportedly paused to take photos, some even writing their own messages in response. A few have posted images online showing the growing collection of love-themed notes surrounding Joan's original one, creating a spontaneous community art piece. For Bachelor Nation, this unexpected international chapter in Joan's story is a reminder that her journey continues far beyond the television screen. Whether she chooses to elaborate on the meaning of her words or keep them as a personal treasure, the act itself has already had an impact. The note is being described as a gift to strangers and a quiet moment of human connection, sentiments that align perfectly with the way many fans view her. As Joan continues her travels, the world will be watching for any signs of follow-up. Will she address the note directly? Will she share more glimpses of her time in Turkey? Or will she let the mystery linger, allowing the message to live on in the imaginations of those who encounter it? For now, one thing is certain. Joan Vassos has once again found a way to capture hearts without saying a word on camera. In just a few handwritten lines left on a wall thousands of miles from home, she has reminded countless people that love, in all its forms, often arrives when we've stopped searching for it. Although Joan Vassos said she didn't see herself getting engaged by the end of her season of The Golden Bachelorette, she wound up in a fairy tale romance and accepted Chalk Chapel's proposal. The pair discovered they had a connection early on in the season, confiding in one another about the devastating loss of their late spouses to terminal illness. Chalk stole Joan's heart from the beginning, getting the coveted first solo date. However, one major thing seems to be holding the two back from beginning the rest of their lives together, where they want to live. Following their time on The Golden Bachelorette, Joan and Chalk revealed they would spend their time between Kansas, Maryland, and New York. Chalk is the owner and president of Insurance Services Group based in Kansas, and Joan has 4 kids and her grandkids in Maryland. The plan to live in not 1, not 2, but 3 states is a doomsday plan from the get-go. Let's be real, the pair aren't going to be able to spend an equal amount of time in each state, which may create resentment in their relationship if either one of them feels like their home state is being neglected. Distance is a huge deal-breaker in relationships, as we've seen with many Bachelor Nation couples. It's also one thing to do long distances in your 20s or 30s when you haven't settled down. Since Joan and Chalk are older, agreeing on a place to settle down is much more important. The two have built their lives in their respective locations, and leaving would mean they must abandon everything they have worked for. Although the two are looking at places in New York City, I can't see either sacrificing their business or kids to move to the Big Apple together. I get that New York is considered their compromise, but splitting time between 3 states seems like a disaster waiting to happen. I can also see the couple crumbling in the hustle and bustle of New York City. It's called the city that never sleeps for a reason. NYC is where people move to begin their careers, meet people, and party. The city is full of eligible bachelors and bachelorettes, not where an older couple should move to settle down and begin their life together. The Golden Bachelor is no stranger to distance deal-breakers. We all know how long distance turned out for Gary Turner and Teresa Nist. The couple fell in love and ended the season with a beautiful proposal. In January 2024, the pair got married in a televised wedding, with all of Bachelor Nation watching love blossom on the debut season of the series. Jerry and Teresa had still not moved in together after the wedding, which set off danger signs for fans. In April 2024, the couple announced their split, shocking Bachelor Nation. The pair explained they split because they couldn't decide where to settle down. Teresa said they had agreed on living in Charleston. However, Jerry changed his mind and couldn't give up being in Indiana, so he proposed the idea of living 6 weeks in Indiana and 6 weeks in Charleston, but Teresa ultimately declined as she wanted to have a home together. Unfortunately, I think the same thing will probably happen with Joan and Chalk. One of them will change their mind about New York and want to stay in the state where they have deep ties. Or the two will get sick of traveling back and forth and decide to call it quits. They are both so invested in their families and businesses in their home states that I think it's only a matter of time before it tears them apart. Many Bachelor Nation fans have found Joan and Chalk's post-bachelorette plans strange, which has even prompted some fans to think their relationship is simply for show. At the beginning of her season, Joan admitted she didn't see herself getting engaged. As her season went on, she found herself feeling like she was being unfaithful to her late husband John and betraying his memory. Furthermore, as her connection with Chalk grew, Joan said she expected to find red flags in their relationship because it was too good to be true. However, when Chalk got down on one knee, she happily said yes, which gave off the impression their love wasn't genuine. The inaugural season of The Golden Bachelorette wasn't quite the sensation that predecessor The Golden Bachelor was. But the reasons why it might have made for worse reality TV are the reasons why I loved it. It had a main character of unimpeachable integrity, nary a trace of backstabbing or conflict among the mansion dwellers, and not even a hint of sex. This was truly the most wholesome thing I have seen on television in ages, and I have watched a lot of kids programming in the past few years. The Golden Bachelorette, and the Golden Bachelorette herself, Joan Vassos, was absolutely charming. My colleague Scott Nover is right that this season was more about bromance than romance. The guys, most over 60 and many of them lonely after divorces and deaths, apparently needed connection outside their kids and families more than they knew. Their delight at finding new friendships in one another seemed to surprise even them. But 61-year-old Joan was just as earnest in her discoveries and her quest. She took her mission to find love deadly seriously from beginning to end. At first, I thought she was playing to the cameras all those times she uttered things along the lines of, "I am here to find the second true love of my life." Turns out she really meant it. She gave each guy a chance. She genuinely endeavored to picture a life with the handful she felt had potential. She spoke openly about her dead husband, John, who was the one and only love of her life, and listened to the men talk about their sorrow, their broken hearts, their fears. Joan set the tone for the guys to open up and establish friendships with one another. She gave a gift to even the ones she had no romantic spark with. So it wasn't surprising that Wednesday night's finale was low on drama. Joan was down to two guys, Chalk, the Kansan good guy with the blue eyes, and Guy, the Nevadan good guy with the perfect teeth. Her third finalist, French hairdresser Pascal, exited himself in the last full episode. There was a men tell-all episode in between that and the finale, and one has to wonder how things might have played out if he hadn't crushed Joan with his "I like you as a friend" exit speech. I was surprised Pascal was such a strong contender, but Joan was taken with his Frenchness, his palpable love of living, and his personal story of pulling himself up from nothing. I would not have chosen him for Joan, but had he stayed, I think there's a chance she might have gambled on him in the long term and lost. Fortunately, this is a show of mature people, if you know what I mean. They didn't always follow the formula of the show. They acted like normal adults, dating. Along the way, Joan dismissed widower Mark, a handsome, quiet dark horse who seemed to pull ahead briefly, only to be sent home early by Joan, not even in a rose ceremony, because she felt he wasn't emotionally ready for a real commitment. Pascal also left early because he didn't want to lead Joan on. And Joan had a heart-to-heart with fan favorite Charles L., making it clear she loved having him in the house, but also that there weren't any real sparks between them. And in the finale, Joan cut off Guy just before he was supposed to meet her family. She realized the day before, on her family visit with Chalk and their ensuing date, that she had really fallen in love. And rather than further get Guy's hopes up by parading him around to her kids and having another date, this time in Bora Bora, she ended things. Her rejection of Guy wasn't a surprise. I never had a full sense of Guy as I did Chalk, and Pascal was always Chalk's real competition, but her decision to not even see it through to the end with him was. But again, Joan did the right thing. Chalk did propose to Joan, and she did say yes. And now ABC is sending their families to Disney World together. Cute. There is no wedding date, which is a good thing, and I hope if they make it, it is not televised. We don't know exactly where they are going to live. She's from Maryland, and he's from Kansas. But in the finale, as Chalk was fully professing his love and intentions to Joan, he gave her a heart-shaped lock with keys and told her they should start looking at apartments in New York City. Apparently, this was a shared dream of theirs. What a characteristically pragmatic choice for both of them. A love nest in the Big Apple where they can be alone, get to know each other, see new things, start a life of their very own. Given my almost 30 years in the city, I can't recommend setting up here long term. Why not look upstate, guys? But given both Joan's and Chalk's level-headedness and sincerity, I have faith they'll find their way. We're wrapping up here for today, but the excitement of trending gossip doesn't stop here. We'll be back with new surprises very soon. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe.